Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. An interesting article here where we have people who really don't know what happened, who really do not know what exactly a person was doing in Russia or what associations that person has with what kind of groups or entities, but they talk. And also, I would like to point out in this article how these people are just ignoring or applying certain kind of values only to their group, not the in group, not the out group. So if you're with us, we are, if something happens to you, we're going to be very quick in analyzing and blaming the other side of doing something bad to our friends based on our values. All right? But if the same thing happens to someone from outside of your group, then we got a problem? No, that's fine. Even worse. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. And this is related to that reporter from Wall Street Journal reporter, Evan Gershkovich, who was arrested by the Russians, according to the Russians, red-handed by taking some top secret confidential information and trying it to pass it somewhere else. Now, USA Today, this is an opinion. Russian release, Wall Street Journal reporter, Evan blah blah blah, don't arrest journalists for doing their jobs. Okay, well, that's true. That's very good. Do you agree with Assange? Do you agree with Daria, the ones that were blown up in Moscow? Do you agree with that blogger that was blown up in St. Petersburg? Have I heard you say anything about those guys? Do you know if this guy was arrested because he was working for some services? Do you know? No, you don't, but you talk. All right, which you can. Now, this is, let's call the people here. These are the people who are writing this, I'm assuming, opinion, okay? So these are Daniel, blah, 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 boo, 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 Friedman, blah, 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 you got them right here, okay? So these are the guys. Oh, Brittany Greener, the cannabis girl here. What about Whalen? Hey, what about Whalen? The guy who was what, a Marine? That is also in Russia in captivity. What about that? Oh, she broke the law. She fucking broke the law. Russian law. Journalists should not be detained. How about being killed? Obviously not, right? Blown up? Their car blown up? No. Bombs given to a party? No. But, or arrested and detained like Assange from how many years already? This is just hypocrisy. Look at these guys. Just look at these guys. So proud of themselves. All right. Journalists should not be detained. If they're caught red-handed, I think they should be. Journalists should not be arrested for doing their jobs. Correct. At home or abroad. Correct. Journalists should not be held or tortured. Correct. What's missing after this, my boys? What's after this? What about blown up? Hey, you missed that one. What about blown up, fuckers? And yet journalists are routinely detained and hassled. Correct. When reporting abroad, our colleagues accept a great many risks to do their own safety to fulfill the essential calling of telling the truth. You gotta be kidding me. And shining light into darkness corners of the world. Yeah, okay. Such was the case of this, who covers Russia, Ukraine, and former nations of Soviet Union for the Wall Street Journal. So this is the case where these guys don't know shit. These guys do not know if their colleague or whomever even was working for a CIA. They do not know. They do not know if he was doing what the Russians are claiming. They do not know. They already determined. Such was the case. A U.S. citizen who grew up in Princeton, good for him, New Jersey, was detained while on reporting trip in a city. Okay, that's a little bit of what you know. Do you know if he was doing anything illegal? No, you don't. No, you don't. Now, the FSB, the Russian security services that succeeded the KGB, that's one tried to associate bad connotation. I might say KGB is the counterpart of CIA. Is it? Mossad? Right? MI6 or whatever, correct? It's the same thing. They work on the same thing. Oh, they just bad dudes, but the other ones are just law-abiding citizens. Okay. Has imprisoned this guy in the notorious blah 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 prison, which was long used by Russian communists, another bad connotation, to house dissidents, another bad connotation. I don't care. Did he do it? You don't know. Neither do I. But I don't talk shit like that. Will be held until May 29th, accused of espionage in the service of the US government. How about they hold him 3 months almost, as they held, what's his name, Tate. Andrew Tate in Romania, the free world country, blah, 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 European Union, NATO member. For what? For at least 70 days. How about they hold him like that in the free world? Jesus Christ. It's far more likely, I like that one. As it was in the case of both Greener and Trevor Reed, a former U.S. Marine who was charged with assault, that Gershkovich, whatever, may remain in Russian custody for far longer. What about Whelan? What about that guy? Now we go. Who is this guy? What we know about Wall Street Journal reporter arrested by? No, I don't care. There are things that you know, things that you don't. Keep your mouth. No, you don't keep your mouth shut. You can say whatever, but you can move and make a fool of yourselves. So, the Journal and U.S. officials have vehemently denied the accusation and have called for these guys. Okay, the Journal, they don't know if that was true. Do you? You don't know. Neither these guys. These guys do not know what happened. Now, and I'm quoting, the actions of the Russian government are completely unjustified. How do you know, Emma? Emma Tucker, the Journal's editor-in-chief, wrote in a letter. How do you know his actions were completely unjustified? Do you know if the guy really did what the Russians say? Have you been there? Have you been there? No. How do you know they're completely unjustified? You don't know. You're lying. And that's a person who's the editor. That's a person who looks at the articles written by weasels like that guy, which I don't know if he's a weasel. I should take that back anyway. By her correspondence, and she says, no, this one, no, you gotta write about this one, no, this, you can't say this, yeah, that's great job, yeah, and then she sends it back, comes back, and so on. This is her. She's the one who decides what you and I really see at Wall Street Journal. She's the one of them. And she's completely, how do you know? You don't know. I'm telling you, the only persons who know is the guy, whatever his name, Evan, that's him, the guy he was interacting, and the Russians. That's the only guys who know. And probably the Americans, if they got the information, you know. But definitely Emma knows shit. But completely, the same those guys, the big list of weasels over there. So don't get fooled, my friends. That's why when you see, for instance, a person being arrested and oh my God, or someone was killed already, they show the picture of the guy, the choir boy. Ooh. Okay, don't fall for that. Wait until you get the whole story. Remember with that kid, I can't remember his name, the guy in front of, what was that? Memorial in Washington, D.C. Was it the Lincoln? Yeah, Lincoln Memorial. That the guy came and beat the drum, and the elder, the Native American / Indian American, blah, 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 and the guy was smirking, did not smack him, did not spit on him, did not punch him in the face for invading his personal space, nothing like that. And who was the bad guy? The guy smirking at the elder. Really? What the are you doing there? All right, invading my personal whatever, bubble, smack, okay? So, again, oh my God, what is he doing right now? Getting money from all these guys who smeared his name. So wait. The same with these guys. Oh, it must be the Russians, because the Russians are bad. And you see the connotations over there? The communists, the KGB, the torture, and all that. And they don't stand for killing. They don't condone the killing of media correspondents. You remember Daria Dugina, who was blown up in Moscow by some idiots? She was a media correspondent. She was a media person. but she said things that you don't like, but she was working in the same area you were working. Are you okay with that? How about the guy that was Tomoshenko, whatever, he was just blown up in St. Petersburg? You didn't like what he said. He was working in the same area, saying shit like you do, and I do. Let's put it this way, right? Do you agree with that? Did I hear you writing an opinion somewhere? No. So that's why you have no values. You don't have no principles. All you have is just interest and foaming at the mouth. And then you have Assange, Julian Assange. Oh, he said uncover things. Did I hear you saying anything about that? Hey, those guys, did you write an opinion, something for New York Times or whatever that was? Let me see what the USA Today. Did you do this? They didn't do this. Why is that? Because they're not honest. That's dishonesty. Not only intellectual, moral dishonesty. That's what it is. So I wanted to make this video when I looked at this weasel and said, you don't know anything about it. Totally unjustified. The same. The Russians invaded Ukraine unprovoked. Totally unprovoked. Nothing. Really? Really? I mean, you can tell me whatever you want, but you can't prevent me from knowing or listening and understanding and seeing things. I mean, the evidence is there. It's not that I have to, bring it back. It's just they think that you don't have the evidence, and most people don't. So, anyway, my friends, this is it with these beautiful people that make the news for us. They're okay for not being in prison, only for us. The other ones, we don't care. We don't really care. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.